So you become the next governor of California. What are the first 3 things you do as you take over?
Well, one of the things I'm going to do is declare a statewide emergency on homelessness. One of the reasons we have the homelessness problem is because of the price of housing that I mentioned just a moment ago. And even when and if we're successful in getting people off the streets and make them self-sufficient, or at least get them off the streets so that donors can subsidize their lifestyle, where are they going to go? We don't have low-cost housing. We don't have low-cost apartments here in California because of CEQA, which, by the way, was waived when a billionaire wanted to build the stadium for the Sacramento Kings. I'm also going to do something about education. I'm going to be a strong proponent of school choice. My understanding is that there very well might be a ballot initiative that would set up something like education savings account so that the money follows the child rather than the other way around. So parents are in charge of their education of their children. I'm going to be a big proponent of that. I'm also going to be talking about crime. We have a couple of DAs in the Bay Area, San Francisco, and in Los Angeles. George Soros appointed DAs. The DA in LA was appointed, by the way, as DA in San Francisco by my opponent, by Gavin Newsom. They're both soft on crime. They both believe in cashless bail. And I'm going to urge the recall of those 2 DAs. They're already facing a recall election. And if I can give a voice to that effort as governor from my bully pulpit, I'm going to do that. I'm also going to turn down the rhetoric. This business about the police engaging in systemic racism is false. It's a lie. There have been many studies showing, if anything, the police are more hesitant, more reluctant to pull the trigger on a Black suspect than a white suspect. And what's happened is police, because of this false accusation, are engaging in what's called passive policing as opposed to proactive policing. They're pulling back. Bad guys know it. Crime goes up. And the very people who are disproportionately hurt by that are Black and brown people. I'm also not going to do what this governor has done. He's overseen the release of some 20,000 people, 20,000 convicted felons, many of whom are violent offenders during COVID. And the stats show that the majority of them are likely to reoffend. That's why Barbara Boxer, just a few days ago, was mugged by somebody in the Bay Area in Oakland. And even Gavin Newsom several months ago was assaulted by a homeless person. But Gavin Newsom had a security detail and that protected him. Most of us don't have security detail. Crime doesn't have a color. Homelessness doesn't have a color. The rising cost of living doesn't have a color. So I'm going to do something about crime, homelessness, and the cost of living in my first several days if I'm fortunate enough to become governor.